Hello, I'm Jack and welcome to the second of my two videos on a recent trip to southern India. The first week was trekking up in the mountains, second week is sightseeing mainly on the plains. First port of call was Madurai. We're going to see the temple, first city we've really been into, lot hotter now, noisier, a lot more smells, the river kind of full of plastic, which was sad to see. There are lots of posters as well. They can be political, they can be Bollywood. They were good to see, and you can start to see now as we're going to go along temples, Hindu temples starting to emerge, but we're off to a palace, a pretty magnificent palace. Architect was Italian, and you can see Hindu carvings up at the top there. That's a very Roman dome, and if that looks like it's straight out of Seville to me, kind of Islamic architecture, and Cordoba again there. So it was quite something. The beautiful, and you can see how wildly impressed we all were. This guy looks pretty fearsome, and then this is an explanation about the palace. Driving through, went through Banana Town and local markets. That was all pretty interesting, and we're getting towards the main Hindu temple. This guy loves his motorbike over there, and we think this is a bar because we were on our way to see the tailors. Some of us had ordered clothes from the tailors. More gods, and then you can see the kind of towers and underneath the scaffolding how magnificent they must have been, and this is what they would have looked like if they'd been finished. We did go into the room of 1,000 pillars, and coming out you can see bits and bobs there. Later on in the evening, food tour, wildly exciting. Food tour was very noisy, very bustly. You can see us all queuing up. We probably had 5 or 6 stops of delicious Indian street food. Here's Lucy and Gavin and Fraser. Yes, scooters and tuk-tuks, they're all very excited in their tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk race. Then we're going back up the mountain towards the national park. Here we are leaving our hotel, stopping off to see brick making bricks, back-breaking work in the Indian sun, and this is making raisins in the Indian sun. We saw some cows. Then on to a spice farm. Yes, you can see a few workers there, and we had a very good tour, and I've learnt to buy all my spices from Waitrose. This is our hotel. Went on to watch martial arts display. Birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Matthew, happy birthday to you. Excellent singing. Then up early the next morning, going for a walk in the jungle. I think those are water buffaloes, and I do like the bamboos, magnificent bamboos. This is our guide, and most of our party was interested in bird calls, and that's my contribution to the photography, and that's Anne's. I'll allow you to judge which you think is a better shot. I like the trees. It's a magnificent jungle tree, and this chap here, astonishing roots. Yes. Boat trip in the afternoon. The water's light down. We're still all wildly excited here. It was a bit dull to kind of kick off. We just saw a few kind of goats. We saw elephants. Yes, big old elephants. Really happy about that. So the boat trip was a remarkable success. Before going on to cookery classes, look at this, and I think you're going to find Morag here making a haggis. Haggis, yes, there we were. The food was absolutely delicious. And then the next day, this is going to be one of the big highlights. We were going to go on a houseboat. On the way, we go past some new churches. That's my kind of standard pose I've kind of come to realize. Past a cattle market with all the guys sheltering under from the midday sun. And then we're starting towards the houseboats. You know, they were all right, but there were millions of them. But had a fantastic time, mainly after 12 days. The 5 of us on board had a good old natter, Anglo-Saxon poetry, art, even managed to get Lord of the Rings in there. So had a great time. This guy's making some evil hooch, and I think, you know, given this warning, you'd have to be a very foolish person to even try it. Ah, there's always one, there's always one. Yes, then off the boat and walking down the riverbank. Beautiful is Lucy and Gavin looking very happy. That's good to see. And jackfruits, I think. Beautiful, beautiful sunset. Then the next morning, well, we got off the boat before dawn. Here is our boat, a fine old thing. And then you can see the reflections are starting to appear. Little houses all the way down, some smarter than others, and people going off for their daily work. Early morning. Bird noise. Here's the river. Coming round to our boats. It doesn't look real, does it? But it was. The sunrise was really quite dramatic, and you can see the little boats kind of chugging up and down, people doing their washing and their fishing. Look at that for beards, that's magnificent. Here the boats going up and down the river, and this is a scene that hasn't changed for 1,000 years. Water lilies, gotta like the water lilies. And here's our resident artist. And didn't he do a good job? But yes, well done, Andy. Very good. We look pretty calm and relaxed here, and I think these guys look pretty calm and relaxed as well. So we're all having a really nice, pleasant time. Yes, the guys, I think these were fishermen here, and here we are being told what to expect. And what Uncle Bulgaria, I think this is made out of coconut rope. You can see it all being made into all sorts of different colours, and even into Mahatma Gandhi, which is quite something. And then this is our homestead, and it was right next to the beach. Look at that! Wow, really hot on the beach. Too hot to sunbathe, I think. And went off with Alison and Morak for a nice walk and ice cream. Yes, we had ice cream. I'm not ashamed to admit it. And then here we are in the evening up on the balcony being briefed by Sanchi, and that was great because our last day was a big day in Kochi. I went down to the beach again, look at that, and I think that's a seagull swooping in there. Now that's quite a photo, I think, yes. Yes, now we're all waiting to have our photograph taken, and here is our photographer. There's a promising young talent there, and what a great photograph he took. So that's a nice happy bunch there, very good to see. Then on to these kind of washrooms, and the problem they've got is that their staff are getting older and older, but they have got some new young apprentices. There he is with his hat on. That's what we enjoyed that. And then look, more churches. This is one of the oldest churches. We've seen some new churches. This is one of the oldest churches. Very Anglican inside. And then I think these are the Chinese fishing nets. They're remarkable contraptions. They kind of big nets go in the water and lifted up by these weights. So that was quite something to see. This was a museum, not just a fantastic roof, but astonishing murals. And I'm showing quite a few of these, detail of them, because I liked them so much. If I'd had another couple of hours, I would have stayed and just looked and admired these. So I think it was a water lilies. Here's a god, and I think a goddess coming up. Yes, there she is. They're a fantastic photograph. These guys are miserable as sin, and yet why? Maharaj is stinking rich. I don't understand all that. We went to a Jew town. There are only, I think, 13 Jews left, which is out of a population of thousands before, which is a story the world over. Yes. And then this is our guide with a rather fetching hat on. Now we went to this show, and they had it explained to us.
The devotional songs we call them. He sings a song, and the actor or the dancer translates these songs through his mind and finger gestures, and with drum sounds, with the drum sounds in the background. So he translates that into for the audience. As we as an Indian, we enjoy it because we know all the stories. But I don't know whether you know the stories, so you might not be enjoying that. In my way, I would say.
Now we've got 5 clips for your delectation, and hopefully they'll tell you a little story. So there you are, a fantastic week with these fantastic people who made it all possible. So thank you very much to everybody that made me so welcome, and especially to Santos, did a fantastic job. It was kind of effortless for us, but an enormous amount of work for him. And if you put us all together, I think it was just a rip-roaring success and a memorable trip, which I'm sure most of us will never forget. So there we are, that's it. Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully see you for the next video. And if you like, you can like and subscribe. That would be nice. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.